Good morning. How are you? I am Shahid Hussain. And ladies and gentlemen, good morning, all of you. Today we will explore the reasons behind the decline of Mughal Empire. This topic uncovers the complex factors contributing to the fall of one of the greatest empire in history. We will examine internal struggles, leadership failures, economic mismanagement, and the influence of external threats, including the rise of British colonial power. So let's explore. The Mughal Empire, which reached its peak during the reign of Emperor Aurangzeb, ruled over much of the Indian subcontinent with immense power and wealth. However, after Aurangzeb's death in 1707, the empire faced significant challenges that gradually led to its downfall by 1857. So, today we will discuss the primary reasons for the decline and and how these reasons become the primary reasons for the decline of the great and the mightiest empire, which include both internal and external weaknesses as well, and the external or internal pressures as well. So first of all, we will discuss Mughal Empire founded by Babur in 1526, and then we will explore then to 1865 and to 1707 Aurangzeb's reign, peak of Mughal Empire, and 15 to 1506 the Akbar's reign. So how did Akbar get the power and consolidated the British the Mughal Empire? The Mughal Empire, which reached its peak during the Emperor of Aurangzeb, ruled over much of the Indian subcontinent with immense power and wealth. However, after the deaths of the Aurangzeb's death in 1707, the empire faced significant challenges that gradually led to its downfall by the 1857. So, if we discuss more in this slide, then after the death of Aurangzeb, the Mughal eventually uh, started declining. One of the primary reasons for the decline of the Mughal Empire was a series of unworthy and the incompetent successors who followed Aurangzeb. Unlike their powerful predecessors, these rulers lacked leadership skills, vision, and strategy, and any leadership skills which could make them significant for the rise or for the stability of the Mughal Empire. They were more interested in enjoying the luxurious and the leisure than focusing on the responsibilities of the governance, which led to the administrative inefficiencies and the weakening of the central power. Like if we discuss the after the successors of British empires like Bahadur Shah's one, Jahandar Shah, Farooq Siyar, and the Muhammad Shah Alam. These were the rulers which were incompetent, which were weak, and which didn't have such as experience to rule the subcontinent like their elders or the founding fathers of the Mughal Empire have done so far. So, how did the weak administration prove to declining phase or become the become the become one of the more significant factor in the declining of Mughal Empire. So impact of the poor leadership was felt throughout the Mughal administration. Corruption and power struggles became rampant in the court as nobles and the officials pursued their own interests over the welfare of the empire. So this disarray weakened the central administration's control and enabled regional governors to seek autonomy, further fragmenting the empire. So if we discuss the predecessors or the how did they rule, mostly had a very poor management skill and very poor and the weak leadership skills which they can lead the as an empire. So Mughal court was plagued by the widespread corruption, factionalism, and the nobles which have been associated with the courts. They are totally corrupt, and this result in weak and ineffective administration, ultimately contributing to the decline of the once mighty and the greatest Mughal dynasty. Um, there became a succession of the war between the heirs of the Mughal empires. The absence of the clear succession law created chaos after the death of each emperor. Similarly, the wars of successions were common, with the potential heirs engaging in the brutal conflicts to claim the throne. After the death of the Aurangzeb, because Aurangzeb was on death, the portrayals mm, of the Aurangzeb's of deathbed were marking the beginning of the succession crisis. So, battle of successions, we can see that how they become one to one in the tug of war. So they were killing each other for the getting of the Mughal dynastic rule, the emperor seat. The conflicts not only drained the empire's resources but also weakened its military and political stability, making it vulnerable to the external threats as well. So if we, because of the succession wars, the consequences of these succession wars was they depleted the empire's financial resources, reduced military ineffectiveness, and created periods of instability that were exploited by the both internal factors and external enemies. This ongoing conflict undermined the unity and the coherence needed for a strong centralized state. So, if we discuss the succession wars, that there were completely empty terror, weakened military, political instability, and due to the war, succession wars resulted because every prince were fighting with each other to become the ruler. So this resulted in the gradual loss of Mughal controlled territories and the local rulers, the foreign powers which were looking at that time that how Mughal rulers are the how Mughal dynastic rulers become weak, so then can get power over them. Because at that time there were constant powers, political instability, military due to the political instability within wars. So military become most weakened and military were engaged to resolve the political issues, political crisis between the successors of the Mughal dynasty. So they didn't work on the foreign policy. They didn't work. They didn't prepare themselves to how to manage the foreign invasions because the local rulers like Marathas, Rajas, they becoming more powerful and getting powers against Mughals. So if we look at the local rulers and the foreign invasions, Maratha horsemen, and you can see I have presented here the potential adversaries and the local and the foreign invasions which constantly challenging the power of the Mughal Empire and the Mughal rulers. There were internal and external problems and the pressures which were facing Mughal dynastic rulers at that time. The empire faced a significant threats from the local like Marathas who became a formidable force in central India and seized the significant territories of the Mughal Empire. These challenges weakened the Mughal hold over their dominions and diminished their ability to project power, our ability to sustain the power, our ability to stop the internal adversaries, because internal adversaries and the internal enemies which were adjoining areas at time to the Mughal Empire. They were challenging the primacy, they were challenging the power of Mughal emperors at that time. So, due to these devastating invasions, the foreign invaders further exacerbated the Mughal empire's decline. Like Nadir Shah in 1738 was particularly devastating the Mughal Empire. He looted Delhi and took immense wealth, including the peacock throne, which symbolized the Mughal power. Similarly, Ahmad Shah Abdali's repeated raids between 1747 and 1769 drained the British Empire's resources and weakened its morale. So while internal and the regional threats strained the British Empire, the rise of British East India Company posed a significant challenge. Not only a significant challenge, and these significant challenge transform into significant threat. The British strategically expanded their control by exploiting the Mughal Empire's weaknesses. They implemented policies such as the subsidiary alliance and the doctrine of the lapse to take control of the territories without direct warfare, gaining power through political and the military means. So you can see here I have presented here the British map of British expansion in India, painting the subsidiary alliance, illustrating of the capture of the Delhi in 1863. So let me explain here that what is the doctrine of the lapse. When any ruler of state have been died, or any ruler have male ruler have been died, the 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 territory which have been controlled by the male here at that time, the male ruler at that time, then this territory was given to the British crown at that time, and legally they are bound to pay the taxes to the British Empire. So because of the doctrine of lapse, British take control of territories without fighting direct warfare with the Mughal territories at that time. So, because of these expansions, British annexed with themselves the most of the area which was occupied, which was controlled by the British Mughal Empire. Now it was become part of the British Empire as well. So at that time, the Mughal Empire's economic issues were another significant factor in the decline. So, as we have discussed earlier, that there were great corruption at that time. So I have just presented here the way how you can see that the court scene of the lavishing spending, the ledger of the Mughal financial records, military supplies and the equipment, and the corruption and the bribery in the administration. So it was significant at that time. The Mughal Empire's economic issues were prominent and posing the direct threat because the prolonged military campaigns during the Aurangzeb's reign, coupled with the extravagant spending of the successors, which impeded their empire's trajectory. This financial strain hindered the ability to sustain military strength and enforce effective governance. As we discussed that the corruption was peak within the Mughal administration, the Mughal, obviously the Mughal Empire burdenized due to the corruption in administration. Bribery became a common practice and official more focused on personal enrichment than the state welfare. This mismanagement weakened the government's capacity to fund essential functions and maintain public trust. So at that time, the Mansabdari system, once an effective tool for administration and military organization under Akbar, became ineffective by the 18th century. The system degenerated as Mansabdars prioritized personal wealth over loyalty to the state. This lack of discipline and fragmented military organization reduced the empire's defense capabilities. So if we discuss that, the Mansabdari introduction of the post direct purpose of the Mansabdari system, Mansabdari's rank, then noble seeking personal gains, decline of the military training, and the fragmentation of the Mughal army. So there were significant challenge because Mansabdar has been appointed by the Mughal rulers, so they can present as a mansabdar because they were nobles, and we can say that they were the representative of the Mughals in the India, but they were inclined towards personal gains rather than well working for the state welfare. They become more rich and rich, and they didn't work for the welfare of the state. So here we can see that the Mughal versus British firepower logistic. So Mughals, British and Mughals, we can say the military decline. The military decline was not just due to corruption and mismanagement. The Mughal army was outdated and poorly equipped with compared to British modern forces, European forces like the British. The army's lack of cohesion and the technological advancement made it difficult to defend against more organized, technologically superior enemies. They British had the 40% firepower, they had logistic 55%, and the 65% they have the mobility, and the 30% training, and the 25% technology. So these are the statistics which have been presented over here. These are the statistics which describes the present conditions of the Mughals at that time. So they were still lagging behind, far away in the domain of firepower because Mughal had 45% firepower as compared to British. Similarly, they had 55% logistics. Similarly, they had 65% mobility, and they had this 30% training and the 25% technological superiority over British. So that's what these are the significant numbers which just describes the current situation, the current situation which paved the way for the decline of the military in the in the Mughal Empire. So Aurangzeb's religious policies as well play a critical role in the weakening of the British Empire, Mughal Empire. So his decisions to reimpose the jizya tax on non-Muslims and exclude Hindus from the government position alienated large sections of the population. This led to the internal dissent and rebellious from communities such as the Jats, Sikhs, Marathas, further draining the empire's resources. So he was a religious extremist mindset, Aurangzeb, because of his religious and extremist attitude and behaviors towards the citizens, toward the public of his under his leadership, which created social tensions. This exclusionary religious policies triggered widespread discontent, leading to significant rebellions. Groups like Sikhs, Marathas resisted Mughal authority, which strained the empire's military and administration capacity. These internal uprisings weakened the Mughals' control over the vast territories and diverted attention from external defense. The decline of Mughal Empire was the result of complex combination of internal, uh, external, and weak leadership, economic mismanagement, leadership decay, and strategic errors contributed to the downfall. The Mughal Empire, once a powerful, prosperous, mighty dynasty, not fall with the even with a single event. This is the uh, a continuation of challenges which contributed, like internal failures, external failures, and challenges at that time, which ultimately led to downfall 1857. So we have discussed the internal mismanagement, corruption, lack of effective leadership, the corruption, the governance style, and the succession wars, regional rebellions, internal instability politically, the invasions of the Nadir Shah, Ahmad Shah Abdali, which depleted the military rule. The rise of British East India Company and their eventual capture of the Delhi in 1803 marked the final stage of the Mughal powers empire. By 1857, the empire had collapsed, paving the way for British colonial rule. So, thank you for your attention. If you found this insightful and would like to explore more topics related to Mughal Empire or the significant historical events, please visit our website PAKSTUDY.XYZ, and you can explore here topical studies like O level, A level, and the very comprehensive collection of historical resources have been available here. You can explore here politics, culture, and legacy, and gain a deeper understanding of Pakistan history, especially South Asian histories. We have placed Pakistan studies resources over here. You can find multiple choice questions, topicals, past papers, and the solution of each and everything which you need regarding Pakistan studies. So feel free to visit here. Thank you all of you. Thank you for your time to visit this our website. Thank you.